So some of the boys in the family, I guess I can only speak of my boys, have a need for speed. Seems you and Mom have a story that relates to speed.
Yeah, you know, do you ever, does kids drag Maine these days? I don't know.
Yeah, they
Yeah?
find their own streets,
Really?
but
Good?
yeah, they definitely do.
Okay. Well, Hanford had 7th Street, Main Street. So one night on a Saturday night, Saturday night probably, Friday night.
Racing or cruising.
There was 4 of us. We had about 3 friends. We were in a car. We pulled up to the stoplight, and there's 2 lanes there. Next to us was this group of girls. And I wasn't driving. She wasn't driving. But guy said, "Hey, we'll race you to the next stoplight, all right?" So we took off, and right around the corner, cops. And I don't remember the full thing there, but anyway, we all got out, and I saw this gal here, and she caught my eye, and so we got to talking, and the cops let us go, of course. He kind of figured out what was going on. And we went down to what used to be a Glider Inn in Hanford, which was kind of a spot to go for cokes and all that kind of stuff, you know. And so both of us went over there, and we got to talking. And one of the gals with her was running for something, queen of something or other. And somehow I finagled my way to getting where she was working at that time. Actually, she was working at a telephone company. Here, I was a kid in high school.
Senior. I was going to say, tell them how old you were.
We won't say that yet. Anyway, so I found out where she worked, and so I kind of figured out when she was going to be there, and came over, and I was sitting there when she came out from work one night.
Scared
her
to death. He was in this Ford and he was all slouched down like this, and I was coming out of the building and I thought, oh my word, who is that right by my car? And I didn't know if I should walk out there or anything, and so then there was another lady coming out about the same time, and I thought, well, maybe I'll go down there, you know. So I did, and then he proceeds to get out of the car, and then I recognized him. I said, oh, okay. So he stumbled and stammered, and the rest is history.
So right away,
I'm still doing the same thing.
Mom, so right away you were attracted to him?
Was I attracted to him? He was attracted to me, but I don't know.
Okay, let's erase that part.
Wait. Okay, take 2. Let's start from the top again. I think we're gonna have to fix this. Good thing we can edit.
Anyway, he asked me out for a date. So
And you said,
And you said,
yes, and we were
I'll
going to
give
go
you a
for
try.
coffee, or we were going to go for a Coke or something. It was no big deal, you know. I thought, oh, I can handle this, whatever it is, you know. So when I proceeded to go tell my mother, of course, a million questions, you know, my mother.
how'd you meet him? Oh, we were drag racing.
But he wasn't driving.
But he wasn't driving.
is he Dutch? No. Is he CRC? No. Somebody else is not
Oh,
Dutch? No.
Yes.
It's too bad you didn't all
What?
know my mom.
There's no good Dutch boys.
But we still get those questions.
We know about what she's like.
So how many years between, that date and when you
Oh, it was quick.
asked the question?
Ask me a
2
question.
years.
Yeah, we went together for
Yeah.
a year and a half or something.
He went into the military.
Sorry,
And
was
then-
that part of your questioning?
Yeah, that's the next question.
Is that the next question?
Okay,
Getting us out of
there.
all out
I
of
wrote the
order.
script.
Okay, some of you know you chose the path of joining the Air Force. What contributed to this decision? There we go, Dad.
The best food, Gray Award.
That was, yeah. I'm not so sure, in reality when I look back on it, but I had 2 options. I had a teacher in the bookkeeping section, you used to call it at that point in time,
At high school.
in high school, that kind of said, hey, I can hook you up with a school down in LA, which was, that was a accounting school.
Like a
Uh,
Four Cs or
Four
something
Cs
like that?
I think. And then after that, I also got a call from a recruiter and said, you know, the Air Force needs you. Ha ha ha. You know, needs you.
Well, Stephen.
And so there was this sense of adventure, and I thought, well, you know, hey, I'm just young. So I took that avenue. I probably, on reflection, would say maybe I made the wrong decision, but at the same time, I'm scared. I went to the Air Force, spent 6 years, and there I got educated, got into the business that ended up with, and so
What war?
it worked out all
Or
right.
was it peacetime?
Oh, it was peacetime. It was right in between Korean and Cold War. It was in 56 I went.
But I have to tell you
63.
something which he won't tell you. When he was in the Air Force, they wanted him to take a test for computers, you know. So they were going to start computers, and they gave the test to 100 guys. Okay? No, I shouldn't say that. They gave more than that, and they selected 100 guys out of all the Air Force, and your grandpa was one of them. Yeah.
That was the advent of the computer age. You started out with punch cards, that kind of thing.
Takes up a whole room.
Yeah.
Well, that's
Well,
when
even
he first-
before that, the punch cards, then you got the,
That was when
yeah,
started.
1401s, yeah.
That's right. He was buildings, I was rooms. You guys are your pocket.
And you know, then he was at SAC headquarters, you know, Strategic Air Command, and we were in Omaha, Nebraska. So where we, Annika, we know it well.
Sure, it hasn't changed.
Yeah, and everything was underground, and that's where the buttons were to, you know, they push for where the war and all that kind of stuff. You'd go down there, and yep. So he was there for 9 months, weren't you, Floyd?
Yeah, oh, 6 months.
Something like that.
Felt like 9.
Yeah, yeah, it did. It was kind of in between seasons too, and it was the winter, and that was bad news.
What rank did you leave after 6 years?
Second class, just there in second class. I was going to be promoted after going to school. Probably
But you
in
got to
Turkey.
see the world, right?
Yeah,
Newfoundland,
Nebraska.
South
Newfoundland.
Here's where I went. We were in Rapid City, South Dakota. I was in Texas for a little while for tech school. In Rapid City, South Dakota, went to Newfoundland. If you've never been to Newfoundland, that's off the coast of the east coast up there, off Canada there.
It's another
And
time
then-
zone. East.
Yeah,
Yeah, it is. It's east of Eastern time zone.
Wow.
Yes.
in Castle Air Force in Merced, and then Omaha, Nebraska. And so we went to about 5 places during those 6 years.
Oh, all destinations.
Yeah,
Beautiful. Honeymoon spots?
right.
There we go.
There you go. There you go.
I really should say,
My dad was in the Navy. He got San Diego and Hawaii.
My brother was in Hawaii too.
That sounds a little better.
And when we got married, then we went to the Rapid City, South Dakota. So that was
That was an experience. 2 kids going to Rapid City, South Dakota, and when we got there, my car froze up. I didn't have antifreeze in it. Hawked my watch to get antifreeze. Boy, that was a story.
You didn't split the crankcase. You didn't crack
No,
the.
no, fortunately,
crack
God
the
was
block.
looking after us.
Oh wow, because you could have cracked the manifold.
Oh.
and
You
you know,
need
we
more
got
than your watch
married,
for
and that
that.
was our honeymoon, going across Wyoming, and then we were in Wyoming. You know, the winds of Wyoming. You know, those open spaces, and we had a flat
Flat
tire
tire.
going up a hill. I tell you, when I got out of the car, my coat blew over my head, and I thought, what did I get myself into?
Floyd, take me home.
How old Is that the same time you got sunburned on your
19.
honeymoon? 19. Was that the same sunburn where you were out for 2 weeks?
Oh, yeah, we did that in South Dakota. Yeah. Oh my goodness.
a great trip.
We were out. I was out. Dad I was out for 2 weeks. Dad
Hey,
was
they
out
remember
for
the
a week,
honeymoon.
but oh, we were so sunburned. Oh my goodness, because it was overcast, you know. And we had both fallen asleep on the sand. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Oh, you kids have such a rich life compared to us.
Well, did anybody else have any more questions?
Is that it?
Or-
That was the script.
I've
End of the
mostly-
script.
Yeah, mostly,
That's
gotten
enough.
through what-
That was enough.
Now Dad said, keep it short.
What made you go to Pirelli? Was it just when you ended Air Force?
Oh, that's a good question. Yeah, I got out of the Air Force after 6 years and came to Hanford. And I said, you know, I've got this experience somewhat, so let's go up to Silicon Valley.
Oh, hey.
All right. So I drive up there, and there wasn't a door open anywhere. And so I came back, and this plant, which it was originally it was an Armstrong Rubber Company, family-owned business, and it opened up in the end of '62. I got out in May of '63, so it was a brand new plant. So I saw an ad for it, so I went down there, checked it out, and they hired me right off the bat, and spent 40 years there. I ended up as database manager and systems analyst, and closed the plant, and kept it. At the end, I was kind of a consultant to close it out. And then I retired. I was 62. It hit just, and so that
It
was
was
my
yeah.
work life right there, one spot.
Wow.
Whoever does that. Now maybe Shul and Associates.
I got 30
laughing. Yeah.
plus years in.
And it was such a great
Great place to work when I started.
Oh.
Pirelli, Italians, they took it over and messed it up.
Oh,
They couldn't deal with the unions.
oh yeah.
Not too many people there anymore, but
No.
they closed the plant and built one in Rome, Georgia. A more automated plant on you.
Yeah.
Really, for a job for a husband and father, that was quite an excellent job, because I think one thing that you don't really realize when you're young, but your dad being home for dinner, I seldom remember a dinner without you being home, and I think that's to me that I start to see those things as being very important. And I think God blessed you with a job that you were home a lot. You were at the center of the family, reading the Bible to us every night, faithful, loving, supportive, giving, all the things Rudy mentioned in his prayer. But we've all been blessed by your faithfulness, to God, because it's poured out to all of us. And we just all feel entirely grateful for that. Have a leader like you that is humble and compassionate and kind. You feel really, really grateful.
Yeah. I want to say something to the young fathers here too, and the young fathers to be. I really think, when we moved to, when he got his first job, he worked a lot of hours, a lot. He worked like all day, and then sometimes he'd go and he'd work half the night. He'd come home, change his clothes, eat, sleep a few hours, and go back again. But I want to tell you, your kids will not remember that. And I always told the girls when they were in the same situation, when their husbands were starting a business and everything else, I said, you know what, girls, your children will never remember that. But when they get older, then they will remember, and that's when they have built their business, and Dad could go to almost all his kids' games and be a part of their lives, and that's what's important. So girls, what I'm saying to you, if your husbands work a lot of hours, it's going to be okay. You know what? Someday it'll be okay. And your kids are not, like Eli, he's not going to remember that Jess works a lot of hours. He's not going to remember that. You will, but he won't. And I think that's an important factor for all of you to learn. And it's getting started in life, And the good times are always there. You have to look for it sometime, but they're there.
Speaking of the good times, you said you vacationed in Orosi as a child. Where did you take our moms?
Yeah, that's good.
Mount Hermon.
Yeah.
No, Grant Grove.
In camping, we did a lot of camping.
Yosemite
Yeah.
Grove, Yosemite.
Yeah.
We camped at Yosemite, we camped, you know, a lot of places.
With the Shules.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we did.
And that's another story.
I always said it was an arranged marriage.
What?
Yeah.
Okay, so the very last is 75 years of life lived out well. What would you like us all to remember, Dad?
I wrote something down.
You did.
And
What
it's
is it?
life, it's lessons for life. Is no better spelled out than the Ten Commandments. When you look at those, think about them. In reality, they are a great guide for living. And then, of course, the summary is, love your Lord your God with all your heart, soul, mind, and body, and your neighbors as yourself. So, thinking about